Let me ask you a question. What if every employee in your organization had an intern with a 150 IQ? It sounds ridiculous, but stay with me, because once you hear that, paying under $50 a month for ChatGPT or Copilot starts to look like a bargain. But more than that, it gets you thinking. What would your team be able to do if everyone had that kind of help? What products would you launch? What complaints would you finally deal with? What could you move off the too hard pile? And maybe the more important question, what happens when these tools do hit 150 IQ? We're not quite there yet, but the direction is clear. And the real shift isn't just about how smart AI is, it's about how you choose to work with it. Because if you've ever had a real-life intern, you already know this. They're fast, they're keen, they're sometimes surprisingly brilliant, and sometimes they miss the point entirely. Sound familiar? So here's my rule. Treat your AI assistant like an intern, not like a tool, not like a vending machine, not like a magic box. Like a smart but still learning sidekick. Because if you do, a few things suddenly make more sense. Here's my intern rules. 1. Don't expect tasks to be right first time. That first draft is just a starting point. The magic comes in the follow-up, or it might not get the point of your question and go off on a wild goose chase. Bring it back and be clearer about what you want. 2. Always check their work. It might sound right, but it doesn't mean it is right. Fact check, sense check, gut check. After all, your name is going to be on the final product. Over time, like with an intern, you'll learn the bits you really need to check deeply and which things just need a glance. 3. Be polite and constructive in giving feedback. Which means if the result you get isn't what you want, then you nudge and ask for changes, just like with an intern. And that's very different to how we've traditionally worked with technology. If Excel didn't work, you assumed you made a mistake, or it couldn't do it. But with generative AI, you might be tweaking things to get closer to what you want. And the research is clear. How you prompt affects what you get back. So say, try again, but make it shorter and more confident. Or, I didn't really want it like this. I actually wanted a spreadsheet that looks like this template. 4. Don't give up if the first attempt doesn't work. If you asked an intern for a draft and it wasn't quite right, you wouldn't fire them. You try again with a bit of coaching. Same deal here. 5. Expect the first time might take a bit longer. You're still learning how to work together. Give it a bit of patience up front and you'll go faster later. 6. Each intern might give different answers. Ask ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini the same question. You'll get 3 different perspectives. And you might even get different answers each time from your same ChatGPT. That's not a bug, it's a feature. Ask it to summarize a document and it might not do it exactly the same way each time or draw the same conclusions. In fact, that's just like an army of interns or any other humans. If you asked 5 people to summarize a report, they'd each summarize it differently, and one person might come up with a completely different conclusion. Just like AI, they have their inbuilt viewpoints, biases, and data points. That's the mindset shift. Stop thinking of AI like software. Start thinking of it like staff. Not perfect, not all-knowing, but capable, coachable, useful, and a little bit random sometimes. Treat AI like a smart intern, and it might just become your best teammate.